give everyone a second to get in here. We are watching the MLB Game of the Week on YouTube. While I do this, talk to you guys, answer questions. I'm in the live chat in the YouTube game as well. Hi, Flyer fan. So I'll be watching the game, chatting, and then answering questions, talking to you guys. Doing great. How are you doing? Hello, Groovy Goose. What's up? Zarf? What's going on? Hi, Carson. Anyone else watching the Angels-Tigers game? Go Tigers. Yeah, we got a 0-0 game right now. Yo, Enrique, Toronto Blue Jays, what's going on? BW, what's up? I swung maple. Got 120,000 people watching MLB game on YouTube right now. Whey LeBlanc signing, I did. Hey, Andrew. Hi, Bryant. What's going on? Hi, Jeff. What's up? Yo, Robert. Jeff, what's up? Bobby, what's going on? Marco, Jason, Justin. What's up, everyone? Before diving for a ground ball, did you take a breath in? I just went for it. How much does Spider Tack help me in my road to 90? Apparently, I have to get more of it. Hi, Abram. What cars do MLB players drive? Usually expensive ones. I saw all kinds of different cars during my career. So I played with Matt Bush, who had a new car like it felt like every couple of weeks had a new car. What's up, Ethan? Uh-oh, tough play here. Nice play there. How much did I work abs? I would say mostly, like, I didn't do like a whole lot of crunches and stuff like that, but I would do planks and then, some oblique stuff. I wouldn't say I did a ton of it though. Some med ball throws. Hi, Davis. What's going on? How realistic is MLB Road to the Show? I mean, it's a video game, so it's not super realistic, but how can you get ranked? I don't think Spider Tack should be legal, no. Oh, that ball smashed. Nice relay right there. What a relay. The D-backs have the most consecutive road losses. I did not see that. What are you typing? So I'm in the chat for the MLB Game of the Week on YouTube. So I just typed in, wow, nice relay. That's what I typed in. Actually, I wonder, usually this is like a low for amount of people in our chat. I wonder if a lot of people are not in it right now because they're actually watching this game on YouTube right now. Shohei has been amazing. I believe in keeping your hands inside the ball, but also pulling the ball. I don't think when you think keep your hands inside the ball, it doesn't mean you can't pull the ball. I actually think it helps you pull the ball and keep it fair. So when we talk about hitting, we talk about being from the inside. out, but it's not like an inside out like push swing. It's just, when you start to turn and get palm up, palm down, the barrel's coming from the inside, and then you can release it out. Nobody wants to watch two garbage teams play. I don't know, there's 162,000 people watching right now on YouTube, so it seems like a good amount of people. Gotta get over. Hey, Fligaro, thank you so much for the super chat. When a player is on the IL, does insurance pay his salary, or does it come out of normal payroll? Yeah, you just keep getting paid on your normal payroll, so nothing changes. So when you get put on the IL, you just keep getting paid. So it happened to me in 2010. I was on the IL I broke my hand and then had wrist surgery, so I was on the IL basically the whole year. And so you get paid whatever you would get paid being healthy, you get paid being hurt. How far was I hitting it when I was 9? I'm not really sure. I didn't hit a home run over the fence till I was 12, so. Can you use spider tack to throw out the first pitch? Yeah, sure. Just don't shake hands with any of the pitchers. Hey, Mar15, thank you for super chat. Did I ever play with Kalu Anderson? I don't believe so. Not that I remember. Hey, Gold Temple. It depends when you're on the DL. It depends how hurt you are. So for me, I was on the 60-day DL back then. So I was actually at our spring training complex in Peoria, Arizona, rehabbing. So I wasn't near any teams. What do high school coaches look for in tryouts? I think most coaches at any level, or if there's the ability to make a team or get cut, they're looking for someone that essentially can help them win. What role they're looking for, that just depends, depending on what the team is. But ultimately, I think you're looking for players that will help your team, is the main thing. And again, like depending on the team, maybe they're looking for, maybe they kind of have their starting lineup figured out and they want to find someone that could play a bench role, maybe someone off the bench that can run, maybe someone that can be a defensive replacement. You usually want someone that's going to be a positive influence on other players, someone that's not going to be a pain in the butt, someone that's going to play with a lot of energy, especially if it's not going to be a starter. Machado, thank you so much for super chat. You see the Yankees triple play on the Blue Jays? I did not see that. I'm gonna have to check it out. Who is my best? But thank you for the super chat. Who is your best friend as a major leaguer? My closest friend would probably have to be Whey LeBlanc. We were roommates, a bunch of years together. So, Kalu Anderson. I don't know how you say it. Is that? I think my son watches that. Kalu, whatever. I did not know that was a cartoon character. I'm 36, so although I do have 2 young kids. Was I friends with Adrian Gonzalez? So I was never really friends with him off the field, but he was a really, really nice guy. Obviously a great player, but a very good dude. I'm trying to earn that money. When you're having a bad game, how do you stay mentally positive? It's really hard. Most players get upset when they don't do well. So you've got to try to just, take a deep breath. You got to try to focus. What they taught us was you've got to really focus on the process and not the results. So, as a hitter, I'm trying to get a good pitch to hit. I'm trying to be on time and put a good swing on it. And then whatever happens, happens. So if I hit it hard and I get out, I did my job. And then but it's easier said than done. Like I'm lying if I'm 0 for 7 and I line out, I'm not, it's hard to just be like, all right, you did your job. Like you're pissed. So. I missed that right there. I saw the hit and then he took second base. Is that a hustle double? Let's see that real quick. Oh, wow. Yeah. That's great base running right there. Great base running. Lackadaisical defense right there. Do you think that in today's game you would have gotten this highly recruited? What do you mean this highly recruited? I'm sure I would have gotten the same recruited as I did back then. Would I ever do softball vids? Bobby Ralph, I have a softball channel. It's called Antonelli Softball. If you type it in, I do tons of softball vids, actually. Not as many as I do baseball vids, but I have a lot of softball vids. Video with John Boy? Sure. Tell him I want to do one with him. How did I get a good beard? I wouldn't say it's a good beard. I just haven't shaved in a couple days. I'm a big fan of Vanderbilt, like most people are. I just like the way they approach the game. I like the way I just like the way they play. I like the way they do everything. I think it's a great program. I'm a big fan of Tim Corbin. Mike Baxter's their hitting coach, and he's a former teammate of mine. So I like to cheer for them. Plus, basically all of our Antonelli baseball uniforms. Not that they were, the black and gold was because of Wake Forest, because that's where I played. But, you know, we've stolen a couple of Vanderbilt uniforms over the years. So what do I think about all the low batting averages? I just think it's hard to hit in the big leagues. And I think the pitching is really, really good. And I think pitchers are ahead of hitters, and they have been for the last few years. So everybody's throwing 95 to 100 with filthy breaking stuff, and there's more of those guys than ever before. The Yankees would not let me keep this beard. You're right, Ethan. Am I anti-Wolfpack? No, I wouldn't say I'm anti-Wolfpack. I mean, I've played them a lot, and then I coached against them one year. They had Rodon and Trey Turner when I coached against them. They were pretty loaded that year. So I'm not anti them, but I'm not cheering for them. A Royals Grand Slam last night, I didn't see it. I haven't watched baseball in a few nights. I've been super busy. I've been working basically like from 6 a.m. till, I mean, I'm still working right now at 10:15 p.m. So last couple of days have been like 15-hour days or so. Tomorrow I finally have a little bit. I never have a day off, but I have a little bit more time. So maybe I'll see some games tomorrow. Is it hard to make it to the pros in baseball? Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at how many people play baseball in the world and how many pros there are, it's very, very tough. But doesn't mean it's impossible, but I mean, it's hard. I bet you're right, Kevin. Do you drink beer during the season? I actually don't drink beer. I mean, I've drank beer, but I'm not a beer drinker. I'd rather have, here's a play at the plate. Oh boy. What do middle school coaches look for in tryouts? Same thing the high school coach looks for, except for, middle school might be a little bit more about development, whereas, high school, especially varsity, might be more about, that ball's just thrown a little too high. It might be more about trying to win games, more about just like the right now versus the future. So I think Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame, yeah. Do MLB players ever want to not play baseball for one day? Yeah, sure. There's plenty of days where you hear guys saying like, I hope we get rained out today or whatever. It's a lot of games. You're playing with another run. Oh. So yeah, there's plenty of times where guys want an off day. Nice piece of hitting right there. What do you do if you haven't faced live pitching in a long time? Well, I mean, you can simulate it a little bit by hitting off a high velo pitching machine. That's what we do. You can simulate a little bit by having a BP thrower, try to throw a little harder, maybe mix in different pitches, throw some curveballs, change-ups. You can track bullpens. So those are some ways that you can do it. Raising the seams, it could possibly. I haven't pitched enough to really know, but furthest ball I ever hit, I don't know because, there was no StatCast or anything back in the day. So I'd be totally guessing. I know which balls I hit the furthest, I just don't know how far they went. What did I swing in the pros? I swung a 34-31 Louisville Slugger, C271, cupped. What do I think about Garrett Cole saying I don't know how to answer it? I made a video on that. I think he's in a pretty tough spot right there and just didn't know what to say. How many positions did I play prior to being drafted? So I was always a shortstop as a kid pretty much, although I did play a little bit of third base and a little bit of second base. But I would say 90% of my innings growing up were at shortstop, and then got drafted or went to college and moved to third base, and then got drafted as a third baseman, but then moved to second base, and then became a utility player. So did I play with Cliff Floyd? I did for a little bit with the Padres. Evan, thank you so much for the super chat. How do you keep your anti baseball players disciplined over lower quality umpiring until they enter the NCAA, MILB, or independent leagues? Well, I think most players, depending on the level that you play at, you're used to that type of strike zone. So the strike zone progressively gets, smaller and smaller and smaller as you go up in levels. And so when you're younger, you've got to be more aggressive because umpires are going to call balls that are this far off the plate, sometimes this far off the plate. So, overall, I think you just have to be aggressive. You have to understand what level you're at, what the umpires are going to call for a strike, and then adjust accordingly. So, but that's really it. I try not to make a big deal about the umpires. I talk a lot about this with other coaches and our coaches. I mean, I go into the game understanding that if I'm coaching 11U, that the umpires are going to be they're not professional umpires. A lot of them are just doing it for fun. Some of them look like they're like 15 years old. So I understand that. I don't expect a big league strike zone. And, I would say most times you're going to get the calls both ways. So you're going to get, some horseshit call. Sorry. You're going to get some bad calls on you. And so is the other team. So you've got to learn to adjust, put it behind you, play the game pitch to pitch. How scripted is MLB outcomes? Not scripted. I get this question a lot. Like a lot of people will be like, it's all fixed. This isn't the WWE. This is real. This is real life. The most juiced Little League bat? I'm not sure. I don't pay attention to what bats the kids use. I just let them hit. I don't pay attention to it. All the kids get all into all that stuff, but I have no idea. Do I have PTSD of missing practice or meetings from your playing career? Oh yeah, I'll have a lot of dreams. A lot of my dreams actually, I don't have equipment. So like I'll be needing to get into the game, but I can't find a cleat, or I can't find my glove, or I can't find my sunglasses, and it just seems like the sun is bigger than it's ever been before. So I have those a lot. Thanks, Dominic. How different is a BP swing compared to a game swing? In batting practice, I would usually the first round is a little bit of a lighter swing. I'm just trying to kind of work inside the ball, use the whole field, maybe not 100% swing, and then I become more aggressive as I go in the round. But I would say the majority of my swings at batting practice are similar to my game swing. All right, everyone, could everyone smash the like button? Let's get this up to 100 likes. A Wake Forest assistant job is open? Really? I'm going to have to look that up. I did not hear that. Who wants to do some research real quick and find out which Wake Forest assistant job is open? I wonder which coach left. Best minor league stadium that I played in? I played in a lot of good ones. I don't know what the best one was. Who's been the most impressive player in 2001 though so far? I'm going to have to say Shohei Ohtani for what he's doing. What's my take on recruiter companies? I don't know a whole lot about them, I think. So I don't want to say anything bad about them. I'm sure there's some good ones out there, but I do know there's a lot of crappy ones that harass people. A lot of our players and their parents say they get harassed by them, so. I like playing in San Diego, personally. I really like San Diego. What's the best way to move on from in-game mistakes, errors? I think take a deep breath is an easy thing you can do. Just to refocus yourself. A deep breath in through your nose, hold it for a few seconds, and then out through your mouth and do it slowly. Kind of will make you calm down. So I think that's one way to do it. You just think some sports are scripted? I'm not sure about the MLB. I mean, in my experience, I don't think any sports are scripted, but should Bartolo Colon be in the Hall of Fame? Sure, why not? How do I get my 8-year-old to step toward the pitcher? So, Dada, I did a video. If you go on you are on our YouTube channel. If you go back a couple days ago, it's how to stop stepping in the bucket. Check that video out and see if that helps you. All right, we have some super chats here. Hold on, everyone. Oh, Juan Cerro Baseball. The pitching job opened up, huh? Interesting. All right, let's see. Is a video coming soon? So Juan can attest to this. He saw me do this a few nights ago. I was throwing. I was rushing through it. My wife called me 452 times while I was trying to throw, and so I just stopped throwing and went home. Moose32, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Matt, I just want to say thanks. I pretty much quit watching baseball after my dad passed a couple years ago. After discovering your channel, I'm back into baseball again. Thank you, Moose, for the super chat. I'm glad that you're back into baseball and that I was part of the reason why you did so. So that's great stuff. Thank you. John Hendricks is resigning his post and pursuing other opportunities. Interesting. I always wondered, does that mean he got relieved of his duties, or did that mean he just decided he wanted to go do something else? I don't know. Have you ever hit a 100-mile-an-hour fastball? I did. I've hit a couple 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. Jonathan Broxton, I hit a double off of. Daniel Bard threw a bunch of 100-mile-an-hour fastballs to me. Didn't really hit them all that great, but Brian, thank you for the super chat. When hitting, do you just generally try to make contact, or are you actually thinking about directing the ball to a certain part of the field? So I'm not trying to direct the ball to a certain part of the field unless usually, if I was doing a hit and run, I would. But typically, my main approach on most pitches, and this can change depending on the type of pitch you're facing and the situation and all that, but my general approach was to hit the ball middle of the field, try to hit a line shot off the pitcher. Now, that doesn't mean if the ball's in, then I'm going to try to do this. That's my general approach. Now, if the ball's in, I'll still pull the ball more often than not. If the ball's away, I'll go the opposite field more often than not. But for me, if I thought middle, then if it's slightly in, I can pull. If it's away, I go the other way. If I thought too much pull, well, then I felt like I couldn't hit anything, middle away. So that's kind of why I use my approach that way. Now, my college coach told me one time, he yelled at me one time, because I lined out to the shortstop and he yelled at me for hitting the ball there. So why are you hitting the ball right at guys? Hit it where they're not playing. And I'm like, well, hell, if it was that easy, I'd be hitting 800 right now. Actually, I'd be hitting 1,000. So it's not that easy. What happens in the dugout? Well, in the dugout, guys are watching the game, studying the pitcher and seeing how they're attacking guys. You guys are also taught, it's a more relaxed atmosphere. It's not like, you're watching the game like this. So guys are talking about different stuff, but most players are into the game. How to make varsity as a freshman be really good. That's not always true too. Some schools just don't bring up freshmen on varsity, but my thought is if you can help the team win, then the biggest thing is, can you help the team win ultimately? I think if you're a varsity coach, that's what you're looking for. Give me the best players to give me the best chance to win. It's very simple. That was a filthy slider. All right, let's see. Would I take a job as an MLB-based coach? I don't know. It's a good question. Hey, Ballard Sports Media, what's going on? Hardest pitch to hit. For me, a splitter was always tough. A good cutter or really hard slider, tough also. Are you of Italian descent? No, I'm Polish. No, I'm Italian, yes. I don't look Italian, but Antonelli is Italian. My mother's maiden name is Daly, so that's why I look like this. Hey, Joe. What are the qualifications to become a major league hitting coach? Well, I think the qualifications have kind of changed over the years. I think back when I played, it was mostly like ex-players, ex-major league players. And now, you'll still have some of that, but now, I think since technology has become more prevalent, there's more people. I think the variety of coaches now at the major league level, there's more variety. And so it's not just getting ex-players, ex-major league players. You'll see some guys that didn't play at a high level that are becoming coaches at the major league level. So what are the qualifications? We just talked about this for starting as someone asked how to start in varsity. And I said, you have to help the team win. I think a qualification to be a major league coach or a major league hitting coach or whatever is you have to be able to help players get better. I think if you can help a player get better, it doesn't matter where you played, where you coached before. It doesn't matter. Can you help the player get better? I think most players will respect you as a coach if you can help them get better. If you can't help them get better, then what use are you? So that's the simple answer. Now, some people get all, I could talk about this for a long time, but people that aren't in the game, just like random, fan, sometimes a lot of people put way too much stock into like how good the coach was as a player and, where did he, how many times I hear people talking about me as a coach on YouTube and they're like, someone will say, oh, but you didn't hit well in the major league, so how can you coach? What does that mean? Like, barely anybody plays in the major league. So there's tons of coaches that never played in the major league. Playing and coaching have nothing to do with each other. Now, did I learn things as a player that I can help players with now? Yes, but that's like, there's a lot more than that. I played with so many players that were great players, and they couldn't tell you a thing about how to hit or how to throw. They just did it. They were really good at doing it. And you can say to them, how'd you do it? And they say, I don't freaking know. I just did it. So would that make a good coach? Go ask, get someone that hit 300 in the big leagues, but like one of those guys that didn't know what he did, and now you're a player and that guy's your coach, and you strike out, on a slider or something, you say, hey, how do I hit that slider right there? And he goes, I don't know, just hit it. Like, there's some people that do that. That's not going to help me. Sorry, I went off on a little bit of a tangent there, but Dave, thank you so much for Super Chat. Do you think making the ball a tick larger could help with the lack of contact issues? No, I don't think I don't think they're going to change the size of the ball. Contact, people talk about this a lot, like this launch angle and all that stuff, people trying to hit the ball in the air more. Does that cause more strikeouts? Like, I do think that the strikeout used to be considered like very bad and not so much anymore. Yes, I think like it's more accepting now. Could that be a little bit why there's more strikeouts and lower batting averages? Yes. I do think, back in the day, there were a lot of guys, even when I played, there were guys in the big leagues that were there that were like good defenders that just kind of like put the bat on the ball. They put it in play, but they couldn't slug the ball, but they could hit and run. They could control the bat. They could bunt and those guys were playing in the big leagues. And now those guys aren't valued as really anymore. So, instead of that guy, they're putting in another big bopper that can hit homers and drive the ball. Why? Because I don't think any team says, you know what? Let's put in the guys that can't score us runs. I think teams are valuing players different because they say, this is how we think we can score the most runs, these players. And those are the players they're putting in. And in today's game, it's more guys that can drive the ball. It's not the little guy that's going to hit a little ball through the 4-hole. It's these big freaking 210, 220 pounds, 6'3" guys that hit the ball hard and strike out a little bit more. So could teams go back to striking out a little bit less? Yeah, they probably could. But clearly they don't want to. Also, the pitching is why there's so many strikeouts, because the pitching is nasty. How do you tell if I'm turning instead of tilting in my swing? I look at my upper body. If your upper body is moving like this all the time, where your front shoulder is just pulling off, like it just, see how I'm just rotating, I'm just turning my upper body? That is not good. That's off the ball. There should be a back, and then your leg brings you around. So there's more of this than this. Just look at your upper body. Now you got to be able to watch. You have to watch a lot of swings too, because depending on how many swings you see, some people look at, I could look at a swing, someone else can look at a swing, and we could see totally different things. So you got to watch a lot of swings, but go watch a lot of major leaguers hit. All the lessons and stuff I do, like today I did a bunch of them. I do them every day. I always have, major league hitters, successful hitters. I put them up on the screen, split screen with the young hitters, so they can see the difference. I'll show them what it looks like, and then they'll say, yeah, but, I've always been told to do this and keep my back shoulder up higher than my front shoulder. I'm like, who told you that? And I said, I go, my coach, whatever. I'm like, all right, let's go look through these 20 great hitters. What do you notice? Do you see them doing that? No. So I use a lot of video and coaching. Sam, thank you for the super chat. I recently watched your video on coaching a girl softball player with hitting. What are the biggest differences and challenges from softball to baseball? So I've watched a lot of college softball players, just like I've watched a lot of major league hitters. And I think the good ones are very similar swings. Now, I feel like the baseball swing, everybody used to teach this in baseball 20 years ago. And now people are starting to teach it a little differently. I think more technology. We have these bat sensors. You can see that hitters aren't chopping down to and through the ball. We have more numbers now, all that stuff. I feel like and there's still a lot of coaches that are against all that. That's fine. But in softball, I'm watching the great hitters, the really, really good ones, and they have similar swings to baseball players. And I've worked with a lot of softball players now. The girls that come in and can rake, they swing, just like baseball players. The barrel's going slightly up through the hitting zone. Everything is the same. And then I'll see girls that can't hit a lick, and like they're doing this and doing that, but that's what they're being told to do. So I don't think there's as big of a difference. People are like, oh, you can't swing like that because of the rise ball. And I'm like, then why am I watching? Why do I have all these videos of all like the top hitters in college softball and they're doing it? Like, how do they hit it? Oh, they're just good. They're just really good. They're really good. That's why. But you can't teach a young kid that. Why can't you? That's what I got told for so long with baseball. It's like, oh, you can't teach that to young kids. Only major leaguers can do that. Why can only major leaguers do that? Maybe they're in the major leagues because they do that. That also could be it. Man, I'm getting, see, Juan said I'm a D3 scrub. See? Like, D3, D1, D2. I hate that. I always fight back with that. Like, people will always say to me, they'll be talking to me in a lesson or something. They'll be like, well, of course we're going to come to you. You played in the major leagues. And I'm like, no. Do not come to me for hitting because I played in the major league. That means nothing. Like I said, I've played with lots of major leaguers that don't know anything about hitting. You can be a great coach no matter what level you played at. Like, I know this is different. It's a different sport. But, like, Bill Belichick, my favorite coach of all time, like, what did he play? Center at Wesleyan at, like, 200 pounds? Like, one of the greatest coaches of all time. Are we going to tell him that you can't coach because you weren't a great player? Who the hell cares? EDG disc golf. This should be an entertaining question. I am a 2-year starter and 1-year captain on my varsity team as a 7th grader. I am a little nervous to talk to the seniors. What should I say to them? Well, hell, if you're a 2-year starter and a 1-year captain, EDG, well, then you should tell them whatever the hell you want. You shouldn't be nervous at all. They put the C on your chest for a reason. I got some other things I want to tell you, EDG Golf, but it's not appropriate right here, so. Thank you for the super chat, though. Model behavior, thank you for the super chat. Keep up the great content, thank you. It's refreshing seeing real stuff out here sandwiched in the fake prank videos. Fellow mask guy here, Haverhill, stay cool. Oh, nice. We used to be neighbors. I used to live in Georgetown, no longer, but right next door. I was actually born in Haverhill. Well, I lived in Haverhill when I was a baby. That was a long time ago. Disc golf guy always has funny super chats. Brian, thank you again for the super chat. For Yankees, the expectation is to win the World Series when the season begins. Other teams, it seems like, let's try to play 500. Is that true? Does it matter? Yeah, absolutely. I think certain organizations have certain standards and certain expectations. And I'll give you a quick example. I got mad at this when I was with the Padres one year. Every year in spring training, when you show up, there's shirts in your locker. And usually there's like a team saying or motto or whatever. And one year, I get to spring training, I go in my locker, and there's our shirt. It's a Padres shirt with like a barbell. It's like our weightlifting shirt or whatever. And on the back, it said, "Stay in the hunt." And I remember vividly seeing this and being like, saying this again, I'm like, saying it to like my buddies at the time, because I was never obviously a major league veteran or whatever. But I'm like, stay in the hunt. I'm like, the hell does that mean? Like, why are we... It's the first day of spring training. What does it mean, stay in the hunt? Shouldn't we be trying to win? Like, hey guys, just kind of stay in it. Try to be in like 3rd or 4th place. Don't be in last place, but like, just try to stay in it just for a little bit, as long as we can. I'm like, why does it say stay in the hunt on this freaking shirt? I remember that made me mad. Thank you, Weedgen. Thanks for the super chat. Love the road to the show. Keep it up. Thank you. I have fun with those as well. Richie the Wolf, thank you for the super chat. Do you know the reasons why some pitchers used steroids in the past? Was it to heal their injuries or increase their throwing power? Well, I think you use steroids for a bunch of reasons. I think it makes you feel great, so you can bounce back better from workouts, from outings. It just makes your body feel good. And I've never gone on steroids. I'm just telling you what people tell me, okay? Makes your body feel good. You recover faster. And so is it from healing from injuries? I mean, I think most people, when they get caught using steroids, they say, well, I was trying to get back from an injury. Some of them, could they have been? Yeah, sure. But, that's the go-to answer, because no one's going to say, yeah, I took them because I wanted to, be way better than I would be. Whoa, what just happened? But I would say don't let it fool you. Like, why are they doing it? Because they're going to get bigger, stronger, faster, recover better, throw harder, harder breaking stuff, like all that stuff. Their performance is going to increase in basically every area. Whoa. Miggy just got hit, luckily with a splitter up in the arm. Oh, North Andover, nice. You're right, Juan. That might have been the year I got called up. Oi Suze? Thank you so much for Super Chat. 25 and haven't played since 14. Rex for starting. Yeah, it depends where you are. In my area, we have a league called the North Shore League. There's a couple of different leagues that you can play in if you're an older player. But you got to be pretty good to play in those leagues, So it just depends. Like, you haven't played since you were 14. Really depends on how good you are. There's some just pickup leagues around here. There's some softball leagues around here. So, have you seen the interview with Bauer? Oh, with the rosin. Yeah, I saw that video. I was surprised that the ball would stick like that. But Matt, velo video soon. I haven't. I talked about this a few minutes ago. I just haven't. I haven't thrown a lot lately because I've been so busy. So I will have one soon. Oh, the shift gets them. What's Laura's view on Robo umps? How about your view? Laura wouldn't know what a Robo ump was if it hit her in the face. So if she comes downstairs, I'll ask her what a Robo ump is. She doesn't know, though. My view is, I don't know. I'd have to see how it works. I mean, I like umpires. Most of them stink, but I'm just kidding. But I like umpires. But also, I'm forgetting the calls right. So I don't know. I'd have to see how they're going to use it. Head first slide or feet first slide? I was always a feet first slide, going in the bases, head first going back. That's just the way I did it. Some people you got to do it one way or the other. I just did it because I felt more comfortable doing that. I do think you should be head first back to bags, but in the bags, I'm not. I go either way, whatever the player's comfortable with. Mar 15. It's actually pronounced Caillou. That's right. I wanted to say that. You're beautiful, but seriously, can Laura please come on? What? Laura will never put her face. She'll never put her face on here. So I know that. I've been trying to get her to come on YouTube for 10 years, and she won't do it. But thank you for the super chat. And Caillou, that's right. I never watched Caillou. My kids watch it a little bit. I remember Laura would always say, turn Caillou off. He's so negative. He's a big whiner. So she didn't like Caillou very much. But Brian, thank you for super chat again. Was told don't visit girl night before big games to keep testosterone high for a game, and then visit her at the help relieve tension. Thoughts? Talking like slump busters or? Yeah, I'm not so sure about that. Don't know if I believe in that theory. Did anyone else on our high school team play college ball or pro ball? Yeah, I played at St. John's Prep, which basically our whole lineup played college ball. I think basically the whole team played college ball. And pro ball players, we had, so I played pro ball. Our starting catcher, Larry Day, played pro ball, drafted by the Yankees. Who else played pro ball? I think Richie Soroy might have played pro ball, our number one pitcher. Who else played pro ball? That was probably it for my team. So we had like 3 guys, I think, that played pro ball. We're a pretty good baseball school, so we usually have, a really solid team. Usually we're going to have a lot of guys. Usually if you play on our high school team, you're going to play college ball. I'd say the majority of guys do. Roger, thank you for the super chat. Do batters and pitchers ever give each other advice? Or if a pitcher tries to tell you, Matt, maybe try blank, do you just tell them then go suck eggs? So yeah, I think teammates will give each other advice at times. I do think usually what happens is, batters are going to talk to each other throughout the game. Like if you see a batter come back from an at-bat and go talk to a guy, the on-deck hitter or a guy on the bench, like a lot of times, when a guy comes back, guys are going to be like, hey, what's he got? What's his fastball doing? What's his breaking ball look like? Like, what type of breaking ball is it? Now, it depends on the level. If you're in the big leagues, you're going to be able to watch a ton of video on guys. But guys' stuff changed. So, like, maybe a guy's got a great sinker, but, for whatever reason that day it's flatter. It's not sinking as much. And so, maybe a guy comes back and says, hey, the ball's pretty flat. It doesn't have a whole lot of run or a whole lot of sink, or maybe it is sinking a ton, and they come back and say, hey, you got to see the ball up, man. Like, that ball is sinking a ton. So that's usually what happens with players. How many kids on my high school team played in college? All of them. I can't think of anyone that didn't. Oh, well, our first baseman played college football, so he didn't play college baseball. But if I go around the diamond, our starting pitcher played pro ball in college. All of our pitchers played college. Our catcher played pro ball. Our third baseman played college, the College of Charleston. I played at Wake Forest, and then obviously pro ball. Our second baseman played at Roanoke. First baseman played at Bentley. Left fielder played at Franklin and Marshall. Center fielder played at BC. Right fielder played at Suffolk. That was my senior year. We had a lot of BC guys. When I was younger, we had a team. I remember my sophomore year. Sophomore year was probably maybe our best college team. We had like Boston College guys all over the place. We had a Stetson guy. We had a lot of college, pretty big D1 colleges guys that year. Michael Chambers, thank you for the super chat. Been loving Bauer's vlog stuff. His response to the MLB memo was pretty good. Your thoughts on his whole angle of this foreign substance stuff? Yeah, I haven't watched a ton of his videos. I've seen some. I saw the one where he was talking about basically, Major League Baseball. He's been basically telling Major League Baseball for years that they need to do something, and essentially they've done nothing, and now all of a sudden they're going to try to take away everything in the middle of the season when it should be done, in the off season. I totally, I get what he's saying. And, I think it's difficult, especially where the way he's saying is basically umpires are free to just kind of do whatever they want, and they don't even know, what's, like his example of the rosin and showing how sticky that is. So, I don't know. I think he has an interesting angle. Obviously, he's a pitcher. He understands this stuff because I think he's probably studied a lot of it, and I think he's got valuable info. I'm not sure if I've ever been intentionally hit by a pitch. Could everyone hit the like button? Let's see if we can get 200 likes on this video. That would be great. Do home and away games really matter, to be honest? I mean, typically a home team is going to have a better record. Usually teams play better at home than away. Why is that? I think it can depend on a bunch of different things. I think a lot of times in baseball, like you build your team around your home ballpark. So, you got a short porch in right field, you're going to look for like power hitting guys to hit the ball to right. So if left-handers that pull the ball, maybe right-handers that go the other way. If you got a big ballpark, you might build your team more for speed. You got a small ballpark more for power. You got a big ballpark, you can have more fly ball pitchers. You have a small ballpark, you might need more, ground ball pitchers. So that's why usually I feel like your team is going to do better at home because you've built your team for that stadium typically. It's almost like in football, like you build your team around your quarterback a lot of the times. If your quarterback can throw the ball deep, well, you need wide receivers that can run deep. If your quarterback's more of a guy that's going to be, get it out of his hand quick, better like short to intermediate passes, you might have a team that's a little bit more like wide receivers that are shiftier and quicker and don't maybe not have long speed, but have, short area quickness. So it's kind of similar. You're going to build your team around your quarterback or around your ballpark. So, I think that's one main reason why teams play better at home. You do get used to your ballpark. You're used to the surroundings. Like you play at Fenway Park and you play in left field, you should know how to play at the Monster. Whereas opposing teams coming in, don't know how to play it. So you should have an advantage there as well. You know how the ball plays off the field. As an infielder, you know how it plays off the grass and all that stuff. What does it mean to pull a pitch when hitting? It means if you're a righty, you hit it to the third base, shortstop side. And if you're a lefty, you hit it to the first base, second base side. I like the DH, personally. On the pick to first base, do you have your third baseman back up to throw the pitcher? No, I've never told my third baseman to back up the throw to the pitcher. If the first baseman throws it away to the pitcher, I say, yo, throw him the ball, please. That's what I say. Like, I'm not having a third baseman run the back up every ball. Like, you got to throw the ball 60 feet to the guy. Like, it's a little more than 60 feet, but like hit the guy in the chest, please. But honestly, I coach 11U this year. I coach 11U, and we have not, we pick off a lot. Like, I run a lot of pickoffs because 11U base runners are so bad that we can pick off tons of guys. And I've never once had a guy this year, I've not had our first baseman throw it back to our pitcher and miss him the whole season, and they're 11. And I've never picked a second and had a middle infielder miss the pitcher throwing it back to him. So, did I want to be drafted by a certain team? No, I just wanted to. All right, TBS National. No one cares, Bobby, but congratulations anyway. Now you got to go to timeout. Casual hardball, it depends on your area again, but I don't. Do you think there are other MLB players that could be Ohtani if given a chance? No, I don't think so. Could there be another one at some point? Maybe, but I think Ohtani is so supremely just gifted. Like, could other guys possibly pitch and hit in the big leagues? Like, yeah, maybe. It's really hard, but could they do it? Maybe. But Ohtani at this point is like one of the best hitters and one of the best pitchers in the league. Like, the guy's an MVP candidate. That's almost impossible to do. Have you seen a kid that you know will make it to the MLB? No. I think it's so hard to make it to the MLB that even if you see a kid at almost any level and you think, wow, this kid's amazing, it's still really hard. Like, if you're drafted in the first round of the Major League Draft, it's still, like, tough to get to the big leagues. It's not like football where you get drafted in the first round, you're going to the NFL. Like, you get drafted in the first round of baseball, and it's still a long ways to the major leagues. You got to make it through, short season A ball, low A, high A, double A, triple A. I know they're getting rid of some levels, but you got to make it. College baseball and pro baseball are so far apart, or not pro baseball, Major League Baseball. They're so different that it's just hard to get there. I like the DH in both leagues, yes. Do I ever gamble on games? I've not gambled on baseball games before, no. I've gambled on football games, but not baseball games. I don't gamble, I shouldn't say, I don't gamble on football games. What I usually do is I'll do like a futures bet where I like to pick the Super Bowl winner every year. And usually I just pick the Patriots because I'm a huge fan. But I have been really lucky. I started betting on the Patriots to win the Super Bowl when the year they beat Seattle. And I've made a lot of money off of it because I've done it every year. And then this past year, I didn't think the Patriots were going to win the Super Bowl, but I did it anyway because, I just wanted to, I like doing it. But I put more money, I picked two teams. I took the Patriots like always, and then I said, who do I really think is going to win the Super Bowl? I said the Bucks. So I put a good amount on the Bucks and ended up winning that one. So Vlad Guerrero Jr. is the truth. I wanted to buy a bunch of Vlad Guerrero Jr. cards. I think Juan can back me up on this. I told Juan before the season started, if he remembers, that I liked Vlad Guerrero and I thought he was going to have a big year and I was going to buy a ton of his cards. And then I went home and looked them up and they'd already kind of gone up a good amount. And I was like, oh, I didn't buy any. I do have some rookie cards, but I wanted to buy a lot more. Because he was so young and everyone was like writing him off because because he was supposed to be amazing. And he's like, what is he? He's like 20 something years old, like 20, he's like low 20s. And people are like, oh yeah, he stinks. Just because he got called up so young and he didn't go bananas. Well, now he's going bananas. Yeah, the White Sox have had a lot of injuries. I think they're really talented, but they have had a lot of injuries. Is Eloy coming back soon? I haven't been following, but did I model my swing after anyone? No, I never really modeled my swing after anybody. My favorite hitter as a kid was Manny Ramirez, but I didn't really model my swing after him. I loved A-Rod too. When A-Rod was with Seattle and then with the Rangers, I loved them. Then when he went to the Yankees, I didn't like him anymore. Do I think shortening the base paths? So they're making the bases bigger at one of the minor leagues, which essentially will shorten the base path. So I'm actually interested to see how much of an effect that has. I'm sure it'll have some effect. I just don't know how much of an effect. So I think their goal is to bring more action, more base stealing, more infield singles, more you get more guys on base, more guys running around. Matt, you train your infielders to do the Longoria prep step. So by Longoria prep step, do you mean like a hop? The way I teach it is that, here's Laura right now. What questions do we want to ask her? Oh, Robo umps. Hold on one sec. Hey, Laura, open that door for a second. Laura's wearing my boxers right now. Why does she do that? She always wears all my clothes. What's your opinion on Robo umps?
On what?
Robo umps.
I don't know what that is.
She doesn't know what that is. What a surprise. Robo, what do you think that means?
Robot umpires?
There you go. A robot umpire, what do you think? It could bing, 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 it's strike.
There's no such thing.
She says there's no such thing as a robot umpire, so. Well, you're right, there isn't really, yet. Not yet. I am too.
Are you going to build them?
No. Never make the first or third out of third base. You're right, Desmond. Hey, do you like Caillou? What's your opinion on Caillou?
I hate Caillou. The little TV show kid?
Yeah, why do you hate him?
Because he's whiny.
Told you. He's whiny, I told you. She always say, turn that Caillou off. He's such a whiner.
Fancy Nancy's whiny.
Fancy Nancy.
She whines a lot.
Fancy Nancy. You know how many times I've heard that? My son loves Fancy Nancy. I don't know. Loves Fancy Nancy. What was my 60 time? 6.6 seconds. Do guys in the majors fake their personality? I don't think they fake it. This is another, don't get me on this rant now. So one of my things about the major leagues, like when you come up, they're always like, be seen, but don't be heard. Like, the veterans and even the coaches, they want to make like the major leagues like this like sacred place where like you're a minor leaguer, dude. Like, don't step on anyone's toes or whatever. I always thought that was stupid. Like, shouldn't you allow, like, if a player just came up from the minor leagues and he's obviously played well enough to get to the big leagues, shouldn't you continue to let him do what he's doing? Like, be yourself. If I was ever a manager of a big league team, like, this is what coaches would tell people. Like, I was told this too. Like, again, be seen but don't be heard. Like, if I'm the manager of a big league team one day, when the guy gets called up and I call him into my office and I say, hey, Johnny, hey, congratulations, man, you're in the lineup tonight. Hey, be yourself out there. Like, that would be the first thing I tell him. Be yourself. It's the major leagues, but it's the same damn game. The players just happen to be a little bit better. But like, why would you tell people like, don't talk? If you like to talk, freaking talk. Like, if you don't like to talk, then don't talk to anybody. But just be yourself. So, Blippy. Oh, my kids both went through a Blippy phase. Blippy kind of freaked me out a little bit. With his blue and orange and dancing and all that. But EJ, thank you for the super chat. I have a rant. We need to stop throwing home run balls on the field. Stop doing the wave. Stop making stupid bear cup snakes and just watch the game. That's because there's so much like nothing happening in baseball, and most people like, like when I'm at a baseball game and I'm watching the game, and most sports, there's not a lot going on. But depending on how well you know the sport, like if you're playing baseball, thanks for the super chat by the way, EJ. Like if I'm watching baseball, like all the thinking is going on in between the pitches, right? So it's like, boom, ball one. And now in my head, I'm going like, okay, it's 1-0. What's the guy gonna throw? What's he got? Like, what's he thrown to me last time? Oh, if I'm not playing, I'm thinking this for the players that I'm watching. What's the pitcher gonna throw here? What's how the defense gonna adjust? Like all that stuff. Like, are we gonna steal? Are we gonna bunt? Are we gonna whatever? But if you don't know any of that stuff and you're just at a game, just like you just watch the ball being thrown. Oh, it wasn't hit, okay, and then you just sit there until the next one. Like, yeah, hey, like that's exciting for you. It's like in football. Like my biggest time, I'm kind of tough to watch a football game with a lot of the times because like, right when the play's done, the play's over. It's 1st and 10, and then here's the play, and it's 2nd and 13. All right, the guy gets stopped for a 3-yard loss. Let's say he gets sacked, and like immediately, like I'm going in the defensive coordinator mind or offensive coordinator, like bring out nickel or like who's coming on the field, what package is coming out here, like then I'm starting to look at that. Then I've got to pause, I've got to pause it and I've got to check it out. Okay, there's 2 backs in the backfield, and we got a tight end over here, and then like what's the defensive front? Like I'm looking at all this weird crap where like my wife she's probably snoring on the sofa. She's not even watching the game, but. I think like in between the plays is like all the exciting stuff, but how do you get scouted if you live in Canada? Scouted for college, you're saying? I have a super chat. What's super chat? Oh, sorry. I already read that super chat and I just saw that question. You get scouted in Canada the same way you get scouted in America. Or in the U.S. I have a playlist on exactly how to do it. Instead of me telling you, just watch that playlist either now or when I'm done with this, and I think it'll really help you out. Is Matt being kept hostage by Lara this whole time? You could say that. Acuna or Tatis, man, both great players, both top 5 players in the game, I would say. I mean, you can't really go wrong either way. With Tatis, you're getting what? You're getting a more premium position, I guess, shortstop. I do get a little scared Tatis gets banged up a little bit, but they're both great players. Take either one. Wow, so many questions. Tough to keep up with all these. Thanks, young butt hung. Last time I skated, Jason, it's been a while. Um, Last time I skated was when I was in college. I came back for like a pickup hockey game with all my ex high school buddies. My skates were all rusted up after a year or two of not playing, and I was horrible. I didn't get my blade. I didn't get them sharpened because I got to the rink and the pro shop was closed, so I couldn't get my skate sharpened, and it was terrible out there. And I was like embarrassed for how bad I was. So, any 6U batting or fielding drills? So my son's 6. I just put a video up about catching drills. I can make some batting and fielding drills, but I think just keep it easy and simple. And hell, I mean, my son's gotten good at fielding, and I just literally like I roll him ground balls. I throw the ball up in the air to him. It's nothing crazy. It's just, I'm just mimicking the game on an easier level because he's only 6. But I don't own skates anymore. I throw all my hockey equipment out because last wore them like 15 years ago, more than that. Oh, Caillou's off the air. Yeah, Laura probably called in and said to get him off. Oh. I haven't really played tennis. No, I stink at tennis. If I had a kid mirror any pro's swing, who would it be? I mean, I don't have anyone really mirror anyone, but if I just said like, hey, you can swing just like this, I don't know, maybe Juan Soto. What workouts did I do for my forearms? I think most of my forearm workouts were like, I think a lot of times you get a great forearm workout when you're doing like a heavy pull or a deadlift or, a chin up. Like that's where you get a lot of forearm workout in. So, like you can do rice buckets and, wrist rolls and all that stuff. And like, does that work? Like, yeah, it might work a little bit. But I think like the real strong grip strength and forearm strength comes from when you've got to hold on to, 500 pounds deadlifting it, or, you're doing a chin up with, a 45-pound plate around your waist or whatever. Like, I think that's where you really get good forearm and grip strength workouts. Oh, Ethan, the hop. Yeah. So I teach that you want basically, you want your feet to be coming down at the same time. I call it splitting your feet. But you want to, boom, come down like just as the ball is being connected with, you're kind of coming down. You're essentially like just starting to read the ball right when your feet are going to land. So there's no stop. It's just boom, your feet hit the ground and then you're reading the ball. Any slow pitch softball tips? Yeah, hit bombs. Actually, a lot of the stuff on our video talking about like swinging the proper sequence and like that will help you hit for more power. So, RC from the NYC, what's up, buddy? What's up, Matt? Hey, Laura. What's up, Chad? Hope all is good. Now that the season is almost half over, which big name player do you think will be traded? Wow, I don't know. To be honest, I'd really have to look into contracts and all that stuff, and I haven't been following closely enough. But that's a good question, RC. I'm gonna have to do some homework and look into that. Who have been the players that have been rumored to be like on the trade block? Oh, Trevor Story. That's an interesting one. Yeah, I just saw that. Ryan, you just pooped your pants. Sorry about that. Who do you think MVP, Shohei or Guerrero Jr.? I mean, Guerrero's been amazing. Shohei's been amazing too. I mean, geez Louise, I don't know. What Shohei's doing right now is just craziness, but How do I feel about Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, all those guys? I think they're all studs. I mean, they were all great before and after steroids. So, like, I don't know. It was an interesting time when lots of players were doing steroids. So, I don't know. Barry Bonds, like, do I think he saw Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa and a lot of guys hitting a lot of home runs, being on a whole lot of juice, and Barry said, "What the hell? Like, I'm better than these guys, and if that's the way it's going to be played, then I'll do it too." Like, yeah, I kind of do. This is a different but similar. It's like if you're a great pitcher and you see pitchers using spider tack and they've gotten better and throwing harder with better spin rates, and you're like, you know what? Screw it. Like, I've been using it, and I'm not going to let these guys use it and me not use it and then have them if I think I'm better than them. So then that's how you get more and more guys using that stuff because it works. Same type of thing. Does playing center field reduce your career longevity? I don't know if there's any truth to that. I don't think so, but thanks, Jared. What USA approved bat do you like to use in your 11U team? I let them use whatever the hell they want. I don't even look at the bats. I've never given bat advice as far as like which type of bat to swing because I think a lot of it is personal preference. And since I ain't swinging it, I don't really tell them what to swing, so. Chris Davis's hitting decline, I have to watch more of his swing and stuff. I haven't really followed it. Has the save become an overrated statistic? I see a lot of managers only bringing certain relievers into the game. Yeah, so the save is interesting because, there's a lot of great pitchers that aren't brought in save situations, so they can't get a save. So, I think for some time, the save was probably like, players were getting paid in free agency because they had a lot of saves when it's like, yeah, well, you collect saves by being on a good team that has a lot of wins, that has a lot of save opportunities. You have to be the pitcher that's put in that position. Is the last out different? Some people say, only certain guys can close the game. It takes a different temperament. It takes, you've got to really be able to stay calm. It's the big situations. Like, could there be something with that? Maybe. I've never been a closer at the major league level. I closed in high school, but it didn't really matter because I threw hard in high school and just come in and just blow the ball by people. So, like, I never felt nervous going into a game. I went in the game, I was like, all right, I'm going to strike you out. But that's pitching high against high school guys, not against big league guys. So, I don't know. And baseball's also changed where back in the day it was like if you're the closer, if you're the best reliever, we're going to pitch you at the end of the game, get the last 3 outs. Whereas nowadays it's like we might bring you into just what we feel is the highest leverage situation. So, it's the 7th inning, but the first 2 guys get on and we're up by 1 and we got to get out of this inning. Like, you might go to your closer or your best reliever right there. So he might not get a save, but he probably threw the most important outs of the game. So showcases or college camps, it depends. At a showcase, a lot of times, every showcase is different, but at a showcase, you usually get maybe a few more colleges. But at a college camp, Homer. Scope with his 12th homer of the year. Hold on, everyone. Save your questions for a second. I got to put a comment in here on that homer. I missed it. Let's watch a replay. Ohtani's being attacked by bugs. Let's see this little hanging slider. I'm watching the Tigers Angels game. Leave a comment at Video Game Man. I'll super chat $10. I wish I could. If somebody goes deep again, I'll put reminds me of video game Matt. They do tell us, I do get a few instructions that say like, make sure you stay on topic and don't like tweet ridiculous stuff, but. Oh my Lord, that was an interesting swing. Hey man, I throw 175 and you're 5'6", 385. Do you have a chance of making the big leagues? Yeah, you're Bartolo Colon. Of course you do. I never played independent league. I got asked to play when I got released my last time in 2013, but I decided not to do it. Should you buy a Camwood bat? I know. We have some Camwood bats at our facility, and I do like to use them. I think that I think it gives the hitter a little bit better of a feel of what the knob of the bat's doing. So, and I talk a lot about controlling the knob and juggle. Nice by Shohei. Do you think that travel ball is the best type of baseball? No. I see some horrible travel ball. I see some great travel balls, so. Travel ball is like. Travel ball 20 years ago, I would say like is great baseball. And then now everybody plays travel ball, so it's no longer great baseball. It can be great baseball, but just because you play travel ball doesn't mean it's great baseball. Like, if you play Major League Baseball, then yes, I can tell you that's great baseball. If you play professional baseball, yes, that's great baseball. If you play travel ball, it could. Some travel ball kids don't know how to catch the ball, so. Jacob, travel ball is a money grab mostly. See, it depends. Same thing. Some travel ball is a money grab. Some is not a money grab. There's still tons of really good travel ball. So, like, I wouldn't say it's mostly a money grab. Some programs are. Some programs aren't. So. No, I don't think high school baseball will go away. Some players are starting. See, I really enjoyed. I loved playing when I played because when I played, nobody talked about travel ball during high school season. Nobody talked about college recruiting during high school season. Now in high school season, some kids don't even care about high school season. They're talking about travel ball. A lot of kids, all they talk about is recruiting during high school season. It's like, I liked, me personally, I think when you play high school baseball, you should be all in on high school baseball. And then when you play travel baseball, you can be all in on travel baseball. But that's the way I think it should be. Craig Stansbury. Yeah, I played with Craig Stansbury. How much time do I spend at minor major league games? None. I haven't been to a minor league game in 2 years, and I've gone to one major league game. One major league game this year so far. Any tips to get more power? Yeah, I would start with your swing. If you type in the YouTube how to hit for more power, my video should come up. So go watch that video. I think being more explosive, being bigger, stronger, faster can help you as well. But hey, I play senior league division 13, 16 in high school and want to get scouted, but I play right field. How will they notice me? Well, I don't think it matters what position you play, but if you think you're just going to go out and play senior league and play high school and get recruited, like the chances are not very good. So you've got to be more proactive than that. You've got to, again, I have a playlist on recruiting that you should watch, but you've got to like really, especially today. This is the most competitive I've ever seen college recruiting because of COVID. Because of COVID, so many players received an extra year. College rosters are like, they went from basically having a bajillion kids on the roster to now having to cut down those rosters, and kids are transferring left and right. And, players, I already said, received the extra year. It's really hard right now when it comes to recruiting. So more than ever, you can't just expect to go play in like the colleges are going to find you, unless you're just an absolute stud. Have I played a travel ball team from Canada? Ontario Blue Jays? Matt, played freshman year on JV. COVID hit sophomore year. Torn rotator cuff junior year. Oh, no, still want to play college ball. Aaron Judge, don't you play right field for the Yankees? This must be Aaron's brother. So if you have a torn rotator cuff, it's going to be tough right now because this is the big year for recruiting, like right now. So obviously you're going to have to rehab that injury and get healthy. You might want to think about doing a post-grad year, which will allow you an extra year of high school, an extra year of recruiting. I mean, that might be what you have to do considering you're injured. You've been popping out 90% of your bats. You have to look at your bat path and see what it's doing. If you're popping up, I'm assuming that your attack angle is probably negative. You're too steep to the ball this way, hitting the bottom part of the ball and popping it up to the infield. So I would look at your bat path. Check out our videos on bat path. I go in depth on it. LSU looking for a head baseball coach? I'm in. Yep, make me the head coach. Submarine pitchers, is velo training different? So I've never pitched submarine, and we really haven't had any submarine pitchers. I would assume that most of it's pretty much the same, but I'm not going to lie. I'm probably not the best person to ask when it comes to submarine pitching. Most cringy thing you've seen in travel baseball? Well, I hate the word cringy. I don't know why. I'm probably just old. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people say cringe on YouTube. So like if you look in the comments and you see cringe, like I don't want to beat people up, but when I see cringe, it makes me want to beat somebody up. So I'll start off with that. But honestly, I'm not really sure. I see a lot of crazy stuff in travel baseball. Honestly, most of the stuff I see in travel baseball that would make me cringe, as people say nowadays, is usually not even done by the players. A lot of times it's done by like either parents or coaches. So, Whey LeBlanc signed with the Cardinals today? Interesting. All right, everyone. I'm gonna answer a few more of these, and I got to get back into this chat right here. Wow, it's almost 11:30 already. I got to wake up early too. Yeah, why do I hate the word cringe so much? It's like, number one, it's probably just because I'm old. Like I still use the word cool, and everyone now uses the word lit. When I hear lit, I get upset too. But anyways, cringe. Why does cringe I think cringe makes me mad because when people say cringe to me, hey, you just committed to D2, congratulations, Jacob. Very good job. I think, hey, Jay, get out of my live chat with your silly emails here, okay? Jeez, Jay. Get a life, Jay, and a job. Anyway, sorry, everybody. So cringe. Why does cringe make me so mad? Because I feel like when people say cringe, they want to try to say like, it's almost, how do I explain it? Like when I hear somebody say cringe, it's just a way of like essentially making fun of that person, saying, and I hate It's almost like you want to act like you're cool and that other person's cool, not cool. I hate, my biggest pet peeve, this is going back to high school, I hate when people try to be cool. It makes me mad. When they do stuff that they wouldn't normally do if other people weren't around, but because people are watching them, they're trying to impress people. They want to be cool. And I feel like that's when people say cringe, that's what it reminds me of. And I don't like those people. I hated kids back in high school that like, yeah, cringe is like triggered. Oh, really? No. Yeah, exactly. I hate, it's my biggest pet peeve, people that try to be cool. You know, it's like, just be yourself. Don't try to be cool. It makes me mad. You've said cringe a lot. I have, because it's making me mad. All right, here's the last question of the day, guys. Then I got to go to bed. Todd Dixon, thank you so much for this question right here. I'm a Tacoma Rainier season ticket holder. I've played in Tacoma many times, Todd. Love it. But it seems as if pitch counts is more important than winning. Is winning at AAA secondary to player development? Yes, Todd. Winning comes after player development in pretty much all the minor leagues because, to be honest, I mean, teams would like to win championships in the minor leagues. Yeah, sure, but it's all about development. They're not going to put any player at jeopardy over. Excuse me. Before winning is not going to come over player development, or like if they say, hey, this pitcher's only throwing 90 because that's what we believe they're going to throw, and you're in a tight game and it's a playoff game, whatever, like 90 and you're out. Like that's just the way it is. Because to be honest, the minor leagues are about one thing, really: getting the player good enough to play in the major leagues, getting them prepared to win at the major league level. And then when you get to the major league level, it's all about winning. Now, they still take care of players. They're not just going to run a guy into the ground to win. But at the minor league level, they definitely aren't going to. So I think when you're going to a minor league game, you have to expect that. Like you're going there hoping your team wins, but your team's also going to probably change a lot because those players, if they're really good, are going to be taken to the major leagues. It's all about the major leagues. All right, everyone. I think that's it. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. I'm going to finish up a little bit more in this live chat, but it's a West Coast game, and I've got to get up early tomorrow for work. So thanks again for all the super chats. Thanks for the questions. Have a great night. And if you have any questions about hitting or recruiting or anything, just go on our playlist on our channel. We have tons of playlists. I mean, I have like 3,000 videos on YouTube, I think. So if you have a question, I'm sure I've answered it already. Have a great night, everyone. I got to, what's wrong? What's going on with my hair right now? I'm not really sure what's going on with it, but we'll see everyone later.